Happy Thanksgiving week. And okay. All right. Hey. So good to see everybody. Got a great challenge this week. Week of Thanksgiving, short week. We both of us have a short week, quick turnaround. Got back here at a really good time on Saturday evening. So that our guys could get a good night of rest and turn right around and had a good start to our week last week and last night. And as I said last week, we had modified our schedule this week to get these guys refocused and make sure that we're recovered and healthy and ready to play fast, because we got a fast, athletic TCU team that's again played last several games, have played well. Had a couple of tough losses, both to Tech and to Texas, where it comes down to the last drive of both of those games. And they lost 29-26 to Texas, and got after Baylor pretty good last week, and lost a tough one to Texas Tech the week prior to that. But a team that's got tremendous skill, a lot of confidence, a team that's played in the national championship just last year, and they got after us pretty good. So really excited about where we're at. Again, I'll just give you a quick update with Dylan and Jalil. I feel like both those guys will, if they continue to progress throughout the week, that they'll be available this weekend. So open it up for questions.
Honor seniors on Friday, excuse me. How special, all of them are special, but how special is this group that transitioned through the coaching staff, like Drake, Jordan Kelly, guys like that played with a different coaching staff, bought into your system, and now you're going to honor them with their last games? Yeah,
they're the foundation for the success that we've experienced this year. Incredibly thankful for them, their leadership, their belief, all the work that they've put in, a lot of sacrifice. Again, that's a group of guys that are incredibly heavily invested in this program, and certainly in the locker room and their teammates, and certainly their opportunities. So I got a great perspective, and again a tremendous amount of thankfulness for them. And again, going to be an emotional week for several of them. Senior day, for those who've never participated in a senior day, it's a very emotional time, and it really kind of hits them in the face when they see their mom and dad or whoever they're the village that they have might be out there on the field, and it kind of can hit you in the face pretty quick. But that'll be a challenge that that's part of my responsibility, to make sure that help them not to allow their emotions hijack the moment. Because they got to turn around and play a really tough physical game. There's a mental challenge and a physical challenge that the game requires. That several moments later, after having that moment, that they're going to have to be ready to play. But really proud and thankful for this group of guys.
Brent, I know you may not want to totally reflect this far back, but a year ago today, you guys are coming off a game where you get bowl eligible, heading into your final regular season game. I'm wondering if you can sort of, from your perspective, say what you're proudest of, or how you think the program just overall, last year, end of the season, regular season to now, just what's improved, what's changed, what do you like about where things are now?
That's a pretty broad question. I got perspective. I probably, always evaluate things after, the season. I just have always believed that, continue to prove it, continue to get better. Success is not a straight line. In case anybody didn't realize that, success is never a straight line. And again, I've experienced tremendous success at the very highest level, and it's never been a straight line. And so I think having that right perspective is important, even coming off a game where tough, hard-fought victory, where maybe, again, we had to overcome several things, whether it's losing our quarterback and not having him in the second half, or not fitting gaps right pretty consistently for most of the day with our linebackers, and but still finding a way to win. So the improvement's been, again, it's been incremental in most ways, and we'll never stop improving. As a staff, and how I lead and how our players play. My vision is for us to continually, invest and be committed to the improvement process. And so there's certainly several benchmarks that, where you can say, okay, we're better here. And whether you start with the obvious with your record or, and again, you just watch how guys play, but, consistency is what I'm always looking for, and when you don't have it, you're always disappointed. And for us to be the kind of program that I envision, that is an example in college football and a model of college football, the hardest thing to do in intercollegiate athletics is to have consistency, and that's what we all want. That's the best players I've coached, the best units I've coached. If they've been something, they've been consistent. Our mindset's been great. Our attitude and our willing to invest has been great, but I'm always looking again for that consistency piece. But again, I think the confidence of our players, the leadership in our locker room. Again, I said this several times, but a year ago we have some guys that were natural leaders, but there were so many of them. Everything was brand new for them. I'm not sure if they were able to be the best version of themselves as leaders. That's just the natural transition, but we still had great leadership a year ago. But I think that there's more depth to that leadership. And again, we're more physical, we're more confident. We've been a little more aggressive. Sometimes people use different, everybody has a narrative, and you can flip it however you want and say, well, we haven't made improvement here or there. I'm sure you can find it. I don't really look at all of that. I just watch how we do what we do. Again, my job is to make sure we got guys that are bought in, and I really believe that we have that, and that we have great continuity, with our staff and all of our different places within our staff, all the different programs within our staff. So everybody's a little bit better at what they're doing. Nobody's perfect, but we're always pushing for more.
Barry? Yeah, Brent, you're 3-2 now in close games this year. Last year, 0-5. The year before you got here, OU was 6-1. A lot of people say close games is not a talent or a skill. It's just happenstance. Mm-hmm. And the pendulum will end up pretty close to 500 over time. Do you believe that? And if not, what is it about a team that makes them successful in close games?
Well, you got to be good at what you're doing. I don't think it's just luck. I really believe that. And I think it's confidence in those stressful moments. And I certainly believe in, coaches have responsibilities, tremendous responsibilities. This is a player's game. It's still, we put them in position to be successful, and you got to make plays. Sometimes you're on the wrong side of it, and they were a little bit better at it than you were. That's the game of football. But for us to be, again, I just reference consistency. You want to be well above 500, and whether or not it works itself out through time. That's never okay for us. I can promise you. But I think being more physical, more sure of yourselves, more precise, more detailed. This is a game of performance and execution, and the awareness and the confidence, the precision. All of those things are important. But there's lots of different moments that you can look at that are going to put you on the right side of winning and losing, and the things that, like turnovers and penalties, are things that are very real, but also putting guys in the right position is a part of it as well. I think all of it matters, and sometimes it comes down to that last drive of the game, but really I always look back, just like we did even last week, even through victory. How did we get to this point? Again, this is really obvious. Just this last week, we did a poor job at stopping the run, and it's really something. The D-line got whooped. That didn't happen. Actually, it didn't happen. That's not true. Kansas, maybe. This week, just the linebackers not being where they're supposed to be, and so that's pretty obvious why the game was close. But I look back at that third and medium, the 4th and 2. On touchdown drives where we're in good calls. We got to execute. We got to do a better job coaching them, and we got to do a better job. We got to execute. You got to play with your eyes. You got to adjust the formation, and if you do that, you get off the field, and then they don't score touchdowns, and we get the ball back at midfield because they went for it on 4th and 2, and we're going to score right before half instead of letting them score right before half. And those are the things I look for, not the obvious things. The obvious things are, we got to work on those. That goes without saying, but I think that making sure that we do a great job, even through victory, of trying to always coach and get our guys better. But everything matters, coaching matters, having good players matters, being physical matters, being sure of yourself matters, the fundamentals, the details, the precision, the anticipation, everything matters. And, so we're a little better than what we were. We were terrible a year ago. I was terrible. Everybody, it's all terrible. It's all bad. And, but there's a big difference between winning and losing. And I know what losing feels like, and I know what win feels like. They don't feel anything remotely the same. And so that's kind of what I think.
George. Brent, another missed field goal on Saturday. What happened with that, and why do you think that unit's maybe been just inconsistent at times this year? Is it one thing, or is it multiple things that have gone wrong? Yeah,
we got to get a little better with our confidence and our fundamentals. At kicking, we've been too inconsistent there. And, right now, again, we kick multiple guys at practice. And, Zach's been our most consistent. So, just like a quarterback, if a quarterback's lacking accuracy, he's just got to get better. You got to throw it on time. Sometimes it's an instinctual thing for a quarterback. Sometimes it's it's a mechanics thing, and we just got to get better.
Has Gavin Marshall been a part of that at all? And
he has. He's been hurt most of the year, unavailable.
Ryan, you talked about consistency. Billy's been really consistent for you guys on the back end. What kind of growth have you seen from him from just game one this year to now to be that dude for you guys every week? I'm
kind of giggling because I've seen a lot. And Billy's one of the most quiet people we have in our locker room. But he's one that there's nobody that's more highly invested than Billy. Billy loves Oklahoma. He loves to play. He's really hard on himself, puts a tremendous amount on himself. I've seen him grow as a leader this year, and was named a permanent captain, voted by his teammates yesterday, and got up in front of the guys at practice, and man, it was awesome to hear him, because I'm always trying to poke him and get him to respond and have his teammates hear him, because the players have tremendous respect for him. But he's become a much better player, and he has so much more growth. And he'll be the first one to tell you he's so far from a polished product, but he has a chance to be great because of his work ethic, his attention to detail, his love for the game. Again and again, he's his own worst critic. Really, really hard on himself, but he wants to serve his team well, wants to serve his coaches well. Super easy to coach, always locked in. He's always ready. It's been a lot of fun to see him, again, grow and mature. But I say this, again, he's played really well this year. All of his best football is still in front of him.
Left side, James.
Brent, your defense had a tough day, but at the end of the third quarter, the fourth quarter, they came through and got stops. Yeah. What does that tell you about the growth of your defense?
Yeah, no, again, we made some slight adjustments. A lot of it just reaffirmed, hey, fellas, here's what they're doing, and here's where we got to be. We got a little better in the second half. We gave up a couple of explosive runs. It takes one guy. You ain't in the A gap. You ain't in the C gap. You're not in the B gap. Everybody else can be where they're supposed to be, playing with the discipline that they're supposed to play with, If the three technique is supposed to take on a double team, we can't ask him to swim the guy and go make the play in the C gap. Even if you know it's going in the C, you got to take on the double team. Let me get this other guy squared away. But really felt like putting all these fingers in all these different holes that were leaking. This one, I got this one, got to get this one, and it's wasn't good. But at halftime, I thought the second half we played a little better. I think they had maybe 6 drives in the second half. I think we forced 3 punts. We had 2 turnovers, gave up a touchdown drive. That's a pretty good half. 2 of the turnovers were one was converted into a touchdown. One we ran back for a touchdown. Again, we had 3, I think there were 3 3-and-outs, 2 3-and-outs, maybe a 5-and-out. And then we gave up a touchdown drive. And I go back and look at the 4th down play on the touchdown drive. And, there was a few things, new wrinkles that they had that are going to happen every single week. That wasn't one of them. And we got to be better there and to prevent the touchdown. But, at times our tackling was really terrible. And but I thought our guys played with good resolve and toughness. Again, you don't overcome the things that we overcome if you don't have tough guys. And what I love, these guys, man, they lay it on the line. Super coachable, nobody pointing fingers, nobody blaming, guys taking responsibility, owning it. So it takes that before you can get the result that you have. In the first half, I thought we were on our heels. Again, a little bit better. A couple of those explosive runs are really disappointing. We had a safety that is on a wrong rotation one time, and they got us for 25, 28-yarder there in the second half. Again, like I said, if you ain't there, that's what they're going to run, and it's not going to be good. And but I think that's what it is. Again, resolve, toughness, investment, belief, leadership, guys that care. I think that showed up. And again, you look around college football, I think, sometimes, again, I know we cover just the Sooners, but everybody here loves collegiate athletics and follows college football. Several games against opponents that maybe on paper are not quite as good, if you want to call them inferior, whatever you want to call them. But expectation is that you manhandle, if that's Michigan and Maryland, whatever it is. If it's, why is this team hanging around? If it's, I don't want to go through and everybody gets all sensitive, but that's the game. It's the game. It's a long season, and it's hard to, always be at your best. I still don't think we've been at our best yet. And that's disappointing too. But that's not what you're asking. And just finding a way. And again, we've played several, tough games this year. Sometimes the end result looks a little easier than what it was. But that starts back to, if that's Cincinnati, if that's SMU, if that's Texas. We're in some battles and we came on the wrong side of it, but we had chances to win in both the Kansas, the Oklahoma State game, the UCF game. I mean, we've had a bunch of tough games and we've been a little better. And so through all that, it creates and supports belief and find a way to get it done. And again, we've been a gritty, tough group again, these guys love each other, tremendously invested, and so they're not going to just surrender and give in when things ain't going right, especially when it's exactly opposite of what you prepared. Even though I'm always you're going to get their best. They play great at home. If we don't do X, Y, and Z the right way all the time, be the model of consistency, they're going to, this game's going to punish you. So, really, again, they responded good, and our guys are in a great place. And this late in the season, I love watching these guys. They come to the facility every day, put in time on their own. They like it, and they like each other. They have good, strong relationships with their coaches. It's a great environment for them to come into every day. I'm not promoting and toting that. I just watch it. And if it's not there, I'm not going to say it. But it's a healthy, connected place where that's a lot of fun. These guys like to practice. They got great juice and energy. They make each other better. There ain't no dead batteries in that locker room. And that's what I like. These are guys that they buy into the iron sharpens iron. It's, and they're enjoying their time together. And they know it's winding down.
Brent, in terms of some of the gap sound and all that from Saturday, what did you see when you got to watch it over and with a 6-day turnaround?
I watched this. I watched it on the plane. It's exactly what I watched out on the field. So not surprised. We every once in a while we kind of found our way into the right spot and we'd stop them, and then you're not there. Next thing you know, it's it's 8, 10, 12-yard game, whatever it was. I think we had 4 runs. I think it's 4, maybe it was 5, 20 yards plus. So not good defense.
Is that something? I'd say alarm bells, not.
No,
but
it's one guy. It's one guy, and It's not alarm. I was actually, after, you want to know what I really felt, true serum, is I felt more relieved. Okay, it was a fit. It wasn't somebody getting their butt whooped. You get your butt whooped, you don't like it. That's your pride's always hurt a little bit when you're invested and you're a coach. But yeah, that's my guys. It matters. They're all my guys. But a position group that you're, involved in, deeply invested in every single day. But wasn't. And again, that's just wasn't some guy getting, ran through as much. And we missed tackles. Don't get me wrong. But just not being in the right fits, most of it. So no alarm. Again, that's, let's go back and let's rep it again. They throw a guy here and they swap a guy there, and here comes the gaps, and got to know who's with you. That's a big part of it. You got a few young guys that maybe aren't quite as sure sometimes, or at least this last week, who is exactly with them. When you know who's with you, okay, the emotion, and this guy's with me, so now I can fall back to this gap. And we weren't very good at it Saturday.
Things in a 6-day turnaround you feel like you can get fixed? Yeah,
because we got a body of work that, if we've had the problem all year, that would be another thing. We couldn't find the ball. Sometimes, again, we just, but if we couldn't find the ball all year, behind the ball where we lacked instincts and those kind of things, that would be an issue. That's a hard thing to fix. But we got the right guys without question.
Yeah, Brent, Woody's been there the entire season, but the depth at the other spot, not necessarily the quality of play, but just guys staying healthy, being available. How much of a struggle has that been, and how are Gentry and Kenai looking going into this week?
Yeah, and Kenai was, he was good last week, but Gentry's back in practice yesterday. So, that hasn't been ideal. Again, going into the year, I talked about that position group not having much experience, and then, we've been snake bit there with just some real long-term injuries other than Jaden Rowe. But, man, that group has been, other than Woody, and Woody's been fantastic. Man, he's been great in every way you would want an older guy to be. But the rest of the group is, when they've been available, been pretty good. And, but continuity and getting the chemistry and getting into a good rhythm and then getting better because you're available. And so you're practicing all those things, the things that it takes to get better, has been obviously lacking top to bottom.
Hey, Brent, you've talked about that linebacker group a little bit. I wanted to ask you about Kobie McKinzie. You guys gotten some snaps the last couple of weeks. Maybe where have you seen him grow in that linebacker room as a whole? How have you maybe seen it grow and change throughout the season?
Well, again, Danny's kind of led the way for the group, and you have several either first-year players, really. Again, Canick played a little bit the year before, but really, again, he's been an offensive player his whole life. And so he's learned, and then he switched linebacker positions to maybe better suit his skill set. And so you got one veteran there in Danny, and he's been fantastic. Love everything about Danny Stutzman. Can't brag on him enough and what he has meant to the defense and the group, his leadership. Man, he's done he's always been an emotional guy that likes to play and a little edgy, which you kind of like. But I mean, he has matured his perception, or perspective rather, and his investment in the guys around him. And to me, that's what I always look at: his selflessness, his commitment, and his investment. Bringing guys with him along the way. He's constantly challenging players. There's got plenty of great leaders, but again, leadership is not a position. It's not a title. It's action. And, man, he's been all about it. I can't say enough about, what he has been for that group, as you asked me about the group overall. The rest of the guys I love, again, their willingness to be coached, their willingness to be led, their willingness to invest, their willingness to strain. So whether it's Desan, it's Kobie, or Kobie, or Kendel Dolby, Kip Lewis and his emergence, Jerry Canick, Shane Witter, Lewis Carter. We lost Phil Picciotti to start the year to an ACL, and I think we've had, because of injuries, we've had to put some other guys over there. I wish Peyton was 100% healthy, because he's between safety and was playing some cheetah, but it's hard and you're not available and you're not practicing as much, and so he's kind of been nagged a little bit, but real proud of the group, and we got a lot of growth, a lot to improve and get better at. We're not anywhere close to, until we get 3 first team, all league and 3 first team All-Americans, I'm never going to be happy. But I also got the right perspective, and I'm thankful. This is a group of dudes that they like it, and so I'm thankful for that and proud of them. And this is a group of men. They understand they got to be the backbone of a locker room, and we've got other great leaders, and but that's always been my vision. Is the linebackers. They've got to take that kind of responsibility, have those kinds of shoulders, and the team needs to follow their lead. And so I have a very emotional investment in that group as well, as just a long-time position coach there, along with Ted. So I think it's a group that, just like all young players, there's going to be some great moments and some tough moments, some learning opportunity. But Kobie's done a great job. He went through some struggle as a freshman, tore his groin in camp, came in as a mid-year, and that was probably a struggle, and so you miss several weeks. It's hard to have any opportunity to show what you can do, and it's hard once the season starts. The reps are limited. You don't get the same reps. You gotta, and then sometimes you just got to be ready when you get an opportunity. But I've been real proud of him. His mental part of the game is actually really good, and he takes full responsibility. A lot of young guys, they don't want to, look at the man in the mirror, and they allow themselves to beat themselves every day or occasionally, and or they let external factors affect them. But Kobie's got tremendous maturity when it comes to those things, and he's one of the smartest linebackers we have, and he's improved tremendously fundamentally. He'd fall down a lot 10 months ago, and so he's got quicker with his feet and with his balance and his blitz timing and his ability to strike, and he's got tremendous upside too. He's got a high ceiling still in front of him as well, but he's a guy that comes in on his own a lot, and again, lets you coach him hard and takes responsibility. So proud of him, as well as that entire group. Really going to be a tremendous group, and they really like each other. They got great chemistry. They're a reflection of the growth and the maturity of our football team. The selflessness, the commitment, the love and trust and respect for everybody, both sides of the ball, all 3 phases. This is a team that knows each other, and that's a group that, man, they got a great bond.
Far right, second row, Justin Martinez.
Hey, Brent, you threw out his name, but Kendel Dolby seems to really continue to make the most of his opportunities. Just when you see him and the strides that he's made since getting here, just what really stands out about him?
Well, I giggle because he got a great spirit. He loves to play and compete. And again, he because of some of the concerns that we had from a depth standpoint at corner, that's kind of where we put him until things could work itself out. And then we got some injuries inside, and so we said, well, we need to. We knew he could be a player. We didn't feel like we needed him there as much as we needed him, and would be playing really meaningful reps out at corner. But he's still he's figuring everything out. And man, I've been really excited about him. As you have seen, he's a bullet. When he knows what he's doing, man, he can, if it's see ball, get ball in the open field or in his coverage technique, you're going to always have some tough moments. So as soon as I say something good about somebody will want to probably, say, well, what about that play? We've corrected that. But really been proud of him. Players love him because he plays wide open, doesn't say a whole lot, but he shows up every day. One of our best practice players. He just loves to compete. And that's probably the best trait that he has. And then his second best trait is his instincts. And then he's a very skilled player, and then he plays big. He's not I don't know what he's probably 5'10 and a half, 5'11", and probably 178, 182 pounds. But man, he plays like he's 205, and he thinks he's 6'5". And so he's fearless, got a lot of courage, really tough guy.
Let's go to Joe Masato.
Brent, we obviously saw Jackson Arnold on Saturday, but what have you seen from him, midweek, Monday through Friday, as far as how he's gotten better, both on the field or, maturity-wise, just kind of learning?
Yeah, I would say that the number one thing that stands out for me as I watch him and his growth is just his consistency. He's never too high, never too low. He's just always the same guy every day. And likes to compete, makes the most of his opportunity, values his opportunity, respects the game and what it takes to develop. So he's got great work ethic. And, he understands as much as anybody you're going to get what you earn. Mm-hmm.
Mason.
How close was Tyler Guyton to being available, and do you expect to have him back this week?
Yeah, I think he was back. Jake just did a great job, so there's something to that too. Jake's done a really good job and made the most of his opportunities. So I think it's more about Jake than it was about Tyler, but he's available.
Brent, obviously Danny had that sack in the fourth quarter to force the turnover, but what have you made of the pass rush these last few weeks, and does the lack of sacks kind of reflect how effective that's been?
I think that's easy. Again, narrative. When you're not stopping a run, it's going to be hard. They're third and medium a lot. We didn't get them, in third and long a whole lot. And so there's that this last week. And again, I think overall, they were just a little over 30%, sack rate. So some of 30% conversion rate on third downs, and then we had some 4th and 2s and 3s. So sometimes, again, you look at that, and they're running the ball. How many times they run the ball on third down? I think there's always a story behind it. I think the easy one's, look, this final stat sheet, there's no sacks. They must suck. Or you just watch the game and figure out, okay, I see. Either we're not stopping a run, and next thing you know, it's a lot of third and shorts and a 4th and short, so you're not going to get a lot of 7-step drop. Or maybe it is a team that's committed to run 3-man routes and 7-man protections. And so last I checked, 7 against 4 is hard. And because people do respect things that we do, we're not getting a bunch of 5-on-4 at all. Not in true drop back, protection. And then again, you look at Oklahoma State. Is that our last 3 games? BYU, West Virginia, Oklahoma State. So I think it's like 80% of their throws were under 2.5 seconds. So a sack rating in the NFL, anything under 2.5 seconds is going to be about 10%. Really, you're not going to get there. So that's all by design. And so you have that, Maybe as you look at the third down that we got McVicker's got a PI on. There's a 3-step drop off of a RPO, so it's a called run. So the D line's getting a reach block, not a pass set. But it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and so he's getting a reach block, a base block. So he's going to play run technique because that's what he got. So he's not going to get a sack, and then they take the ball and they throw it up. So it's counted as a pass. We didn't get a sack. Where's the pressure? You're not going to get it. So, again, that's what I would say to all that. And there's a lot. Again, we got a lot to get. We got to get better at everything. Pass rush, technique, run defense, all of this stuff. We got to get better at. And I think it all matters. And then some of it's the scheme and that people are presenting, and then some of it's your lack of success early downs. That's what I think this last week. And then we can never. Sometimes you get a lead on some guys, and you put people in a pinch. When you get leads on people, now they gotta. When you get good game control, you put pressure on the other side of the ball on an opposing offense, and now they got to go back and chunk it a lot. And so we haven't really been able to do that here recently, either. So everything matters. It all is part of it. And we're better there, not good enough. and nobody here is satisfied with any of it. But proud of our guys and their work and their fight. But I also have perspective on, again, a lot of people understand the game. You understand the game, you watch the game, not just look at the final stats. I'm not saying you, but you're just reporting an obvious, stat. But game control matters too. And when you get in good game control, now you put people in a more of a position where it's obvious you can pin your ears back a little bit. But we're getting things like, again, 7-man protection, screens, quick shallows, RPOs, things like that too. Sprint outs, things like that's hard to get sacks on. They're changing the launch point. And that's why they do it, because they know we're aggressive and things like that.
TCU's got a freshman QB, Josh Hoover, over 300 yards in the last 3 games. They've also got a new weapon, the 6'7" tight end, Jared Wiley. Huge game last week, 3 pretty good games in a row.
2 400-yard games. Yeah, that's going to test us in every way. Quarterback's playing fantastic. Again, 2 400-plus yard games, too. I think he's thrown for 9 touchdowns and just been fantastic, averaging, 350-plus yards a game. He's been fantastic. So they've done a great job. Receivers, they got really good receivers. Their running game's been good, which gives them opportunity. Tight end, 6'7". Got a big 6'5" receiver as well. And, really like Bailey and how he's running downhill, and he's very explosive. He's a home run hitter as well. They're blocking up front good and protecting the quarterback well. He's making really good decisions. They're putting him in a position to be successful. The tight end's great. 3's great. Again, that's a team that they've done a good job, with the group of guys they have, and they turned over a lot of guys. They're, having tremendous, production. I think 3 had 11 catches against Texas a couple weeks ago. And they've got really, really good players.
Second row, left side, John.
Brent, if Jackson does have to be the guy on Saturday, how important is he gets this week where you guys can game plan for him and he gets the week as the guy? How important is that for him?
I think, Jeff does a good job of when Jackson gets, they're getting the first and second team guy are getting virtually the same amount of reps. And so, the things that we're asking him to do, he's good at. We don't have to, okay, now Jackson's in, let's do this. There's some things that maybe he might be good at, but the game plan is going to be the game plan based on the things that you're going to see from an opponent. So, and then the things that we do every single week. So that's important that he has those things down, so we can go execute, the offense and still take advantage of his best skill sets. But, I think him and Dylan are very, very similar in many ways. I don't think, okay, well, this guy's a runner and this guy's a thrower. This can't, he can't throw, but this guy can throw. We don't have that problem with those 2 guys.
On the way back, middle, John Hoover.
Yeah, Brent, I wanted to, you talked about Billy being a captain, you talked about Danny and Woody. I wanted to give you a chance to brag on your other 4 captains today, permanent captains, Ethan and Dylan and McCade and Drake, and what qualities those guys have that allowed them to be voted to that.
Well, again, and that's from their teammates. They're just, again, model of consistency, highly invested guys. And sometimes people say, well, how come about these other guys? And that's not a reflection on anybody else. These are just the guys that they got the most votes. But consistency, buy-in, passion, love for the game, love for their university, love for their teammates. They've been amazing, to make everybody around them better. They got the kind of toughness that you want your program to be all about. They value their opportunity every single day. They know that their time is limited and their roles are important and their platform is important and their influence is important. So, again, all the selfless traits that you got to have, the work ethic, the toughness, the ability to persevere and endure is something I never take lightly. It's easy to be a leader a day here, a day there. When you feel good, these are guys that show up no matter what the circumstances are. That's a group of guys that'll move the coach out of the way and say, I got this, coach. And, you don't always have that, but we have it. And so I got tremendous, again, like I said earlier, thankfulness for that group of guys. Again, their work ethic, their consistency, and their ability just to be a light, sometimes in some dark moments too. And, they've not flinched, and they've been the model of what you want from a ability to overcome. And like I said, this team, and to me, I believe that you're really, your real value comes from, what you overcome, not what you become. First team All-League, All-American, get drafted. Those are things that you become. I think it is what guys overcome that really separates or defines you or develops you, and that's a group of guys. They all have a story. You see the glory of being, permanent captain, but there's a story behind all of them, and I love that about them, and that's what I love about, being a part of a locker room.
Yeah, Brent, obviously TCU just needs one win to become bowl eligible. What are you expecting from them on Friday?
Same thing if they were already bowl eligible. A team that plays with pride, a team that's well prepared and well coached, a team that's got good athletes, a team that's going to play with great effort. No different. I don't think, this is for bowl eligibility. Game one's bowl eligibility, right? The way it is today. You don't, now we're going to do our best. No, I don't think that. It's going to be a group that's highly motivated. They come in with great passion and energy. Again, we get everybody's best. This is Oklahoma. It's going to be an amazing environment. They'll be juiced and fired up like everybody that comes to, Owen Field. And our job is to focus on us, prepare as best that we can prepare, have a great week of practice, get better, just focus on today. This is Tuesday. I know for y'all, this is Monday, this is Tuesday. And so have a great Tuesday practice. And again, do what we can while we can so that we can't, we won't wish that we would have when we could have. And so, and get our guys to really understand and buy into you're never going to regret giving everything you got. And so that means your preparation should matter every single day. So that's kind of where our focus is, but we expect, again, a great TC football team to come in here. Just what you've seen from them the last few weeks, man, it's gone down to the wire, gone to the last couple of drives. It's a team that has rallied behind, their freshman quarterback. He's playing, as good as anybody in our conference and probably around the country right now. And so we're going to have a great week and a great game plan.
Yeah, Coach, tail end of a long season, as you mentioned. How's the energy level? How's the morale? How is the focus, just with all the highs and lows personally and as a team that they've gone through this season?
I think it's great. Like I said, our guys, they show up here with a great attitude. They like to come to the facility, like to hang out. They stay late. They come in early. Practice is fun. It's tough. It's demanding, but guys got a great spirit and energy to them. I know that kind of sounds cliche-ish and all that, but this is a group, they like it. And they value each other, got really good, strong relationships with both their teammates and their coaches, and they're excited about what's in front of them. A lot's at stake. This is, for several guys, this is it for them here. Got a chance to be undefeated at home, got a chance to enhance and improve our opportunity for postseason play. This is a group of players on this team that are, again, highly invested. They've put in a tremendous amount of work. So, the finish matters. And, we're all defined by how we finish, right? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And so finishing strong is something we take a lot of pride in and through their training and mentally, physically, spiritually. And so I think that they value that, opportunity as well. And then we got a lot of young players trying to continue to create, value for themselves and opportunity for themselves too. So we got a great blend of those kind of guys. So they recognize you don't get to play this game forever. You never know when the last day is, so you value every opportunity. You only get to play 12 guaranteed games a year. So this is a mature team that sees the value in that.
Got time for one more. James Gadsden. Coach, you talked about kind of the height difference that some of the TCU players have over. How do you combat something like that on the defensive side, going after that?
Good technique, good positioning, good awareness, good fundamentals through the strain, and the back end of the play. I always say you got to win early to win late. So within the play, whatever the play is, 4 to 6 seconds, you got to win early to win late. And so I think all of those things are important. And it's a game of leverage. It's a game of physicality. And even when a DB and a receiver, a tight end and a backer, a safety, or things of that nature, or there's a physicality that's not just the run game. It's straining at the top of a route, in and out of breaks, having functional strength and playing with leverage, playing with good pad level, all those things. Everything matters. Again, you're going against good players. You can't have bad technique and expect to win. So I think it starts with that and understanding alignments, all those kind of things. And then you just do your 1 of 11. There's 10 other guys. You're not out there on an island by yourself. But this is a game of matchups, and you win your matchups. You expect to win the game. You got to win your matchup, and so win your fair share of those is important, and technically, mentally, physically. Mm-hmm. All right.